Important tips and resources for buying your home.
Taking a look at some of these other ones, as you can see, they're all kind of horrible pictures, kind of gross beds, nothing really looks that good. And they're all trying to charge $1,000. The reason is because in Brentwood, and this is on a slide forward, so I might skip over that once I get to it. The reason is Brentwood essentially only has single family homes. I go up there to, visit my family all the time. And when I drive through there, only single family homes, fancy homes in the neighborhoods, large homes. There's almost no apartments. All the apartments are over in Antioch. So if somebody's looking to, move out there and get a house for themselves for their single family and rent it out first before they decide to buy, or they're still trying to save up money because there's a lot of new money in the Bay Area. So they just need time to save. Even if they are making $300,000 a year, it takes time to save up 100, 200 grand to be able to purchase a property, especially once you go over the jumbo loan mark. The jumbo loan mark is 750,000. And then they usually want you to put 15% down with a 5% mortgage insurance, or they want you to put 20% down. And so now if it's $1 million property, you have to drop, anywhere from 100 to 200 grand, depending on your credit score and a few other factors. But essentially, everybody was in the Bay Area and they weren't working remote. COVID happened. Everybody shifted to the outskirts. A lot of them are able to retain their remote work jobs. So they're purchasing up the properties out there. There's no apartments built. It's going to take some time to build them. And 17% of new job listings are staying remote. So we're still going to see people trickle out to these, hour away, 2 hour away, Dublin, Mountain House, Brentwood, Tracy, Antioch sort of areas in order to live because they want a nice house. So the reason that these, rents can be pretty reasonably cash flow and be pretty profitable, or at least at the worst case scenario break even, is because there's nowhere else for them to live if they want to live in Brentwood and if they want to have a nice, big house. They can't have it down here. It's going to cost them $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month. So they'd rather just pay 3-4 grand and move a little bit away. It's important to take a look at a bunch of the websites and all of the tools that are analyzing the rental properties and stuff like that, and take a look at the locations and try to piece together kind of a story of, okay, this is what the rents are looking like, worst case scenario, best case scenario. So it says the 25th percentile is looking around $3,000 for the area, and the 75th percentile for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath is around 3,400. But I took a look at some new listings, and I got some numbers that were basically starting around 3,400 and going up. For these tools, and this is where the nuance comes into it and kind of the art or science to it, is that these tools are taking single bedroom apartment rentals and they're averaging it against a 5-bedroom, 5-bath that has that costs $6,000 a month, and so the average ends up in between. So you can't just take one number and be happy with that. So this is what I pulled this morning. And then after this, I'll show you some additional numbers. For a 5-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, 4-bath, basically these are properties that are considered like kind or very closely related to the property that I initially pulled up. That's what I was comparing it to. Are going for $3,500, $3,800 a month, $3,900 a month. So if we went off of Zillow's estimate of the $3,000 for the mortgage, you'd probably be able to cash flow after homeowners insurance and stuff like that, which the Zillow estimate I think includes on it, but let's assume that it doesn't include it. You'd probably be able to cash flow $300-$400. So your cash on cash return is not going to be 7, 8, 9%, but that's just how the market is around here. And people will go over to places like Texas and stuff like that and think, oh, I'm getting a 7% cash on cash return on a $200,000 property. And then they're getting taxed 50% by the government. So would you rather get, let's say a 10% cash on cash return from a property that's $200,000? So you're making 20 grand at the end of the year, but it gets taxed 50%. So now you have $10,000. Or would you rather get a cash on cash return of $3,000? You're only cash flowing $300, but because of all of the inflation that's going on, these properties are appreciating at $50,000 to $70,000 a year. They're appreciating 10%, 15% a year for the next 5 years. So you're making $50,000 to $70,000. That is the closer that on your balance sheet that you are to breaking even, or even you don't want to be negative, but if you are negative or if you're breaking even, the closer you are to that, the more that that's going to be, tax incentivized, and you're going to be able to write that off and stuff like that. So I would much rather cash flow $300 or $400 and have my property appreciate $70,000 or so, and then be able to refinance it in 3 or 4 years, pull out $100,000 and go purchase a second property, as opposed to make even 50 grand out of state, but it's going to be getting taxed and I only get to keep 25 grand, and the property is probably not appreciating nearly as much.
Join our weekly webinar. Call us now at 408-763-8131 or scan the QR code.